The 1950s were a time when R&B lived in the jukebox, the street corner, and the backseat of a slow-cruising Chevy. You'd hear harmonies floating through open windows on warm summer nights. Sam Cooke was turning heartache into silk.
Darling, you sent me.
And the Flamingos were about to redefine romance.
I don't know if
These are 10 R&B songs only those who truly lived that era will remember. Number 10, Work With Me Annie, by Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. This one hit the streets in 1954 on Federal Records, and let's just say, parents and radio stations did not know what to do with it. Hank Ballard was still defining his voice, still shaping his swagger, but he had already found the sweet spot between rhythm and suggestion. The track didn't flirt, it winked. It stirred up controversy, been aired on many stations for being too suggestive, which of course only made teenagers turn it up louder. If you were alive then, you'll remember that pulse in your chest, that little shock of daring something the grown-ups didn't approve of. You remember hearing it at house parties, lights turned low, everyone trying to look older than they were. And the legacy? This record sparked a trilogy, inspired answer songs, and laid groundwork for the playful soul outside the church walls. Without this, there is no twist and shout, no early James Brown heat, no playful R&B swagger. It was the sound of teenagers taking music for themselves. If that was rebellion wrapped in rhythm. This next song is pure midnight cool. Number 9, Moon Moon, I Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos. Released in 1959 on End Records, this was romance on vinyl, the kind that didn't just play through speakers, it floated. The Flamingos were already respected on the doo-wop circuit, but this song, this one felt like it stepped out of a dream.
my love must be a kind of blind love.
The arrangement was drenched in echo, soft percussion, and those angelic harmonies that seemed to hang in the air like slow falling confetti. For many who grew up in the 50s, this was the slow dance song, the one where the gym lights dimmed, and suddenly you were aware of how close two hands could be.
I can't see anyone but you.
The world went quiet, your heart slowed down, and everything in the universe felt gentle for just 3 minutes. There's a story that producer George Goldner insisted on that ethereal reverb to make the vocals feel heaven-sent.
And I only have eyes.
And he was right. Decades later, it still plays like a memory you haven't lived and yet somehow know. Its legacy is eternal. Movies, weddings, lovers holding on to each other through time.
I don't know if
Not flashy, not loud, just timeless. If that was floating on a cloud. The next one takes us straight to the church basement dance floor. Number 8, Shake, Rattle, and Roll by Big Joe Turner.
I did shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and
Released in 1954 on Atlantic Records, this track wasn't just a song, it was an earthquake.
I can't believe mine, all that jive in mine.
Big Joe Turner had already been tearing up Kansas City clubs since the 1930s, but when this record hit, R&B crossed a line and walked straight into the heart of what would soon be called rock and roll. Turner was in his early 40s when he recorded it, proof that the youthquake of the 50s didn't start with teenagers, but with grown folks who already knew how to move.
That kitchen, baby, wash your face and hands.
There's a reason this song felt dangerous. Those lyrics were spicy long before the censors figured out how to censor. Radio stations tried to water it down. Bill Haley even did a clean version. But everyone who grew up back then knows that Big Joe's original had the fire. The shuffle beat, the hand claps, the holler in his voice. That was the sound of Friday night after payday, barbecue smoke in the air, somebody turning the living room into a dance floor. And when that sax solo hit, phew, you didn't sit still. You couldn't. Its legacy echoes in every rock frontman who ever strutted across a stage.
You make me roll my baby, make me grit my teeth.
Elvis, Little Richard, James Brown, they all learned something here. Big Joe didn't just shake the room, he rattled the whole future. If that one brought the party, the next track slows the lights and leans in close. Number 7, Since I Met You Baby by Ivory Joe Hunter.
Since I met you, baby, my whole
Released in 1956 on Atlantic Records, this was the kind of song that didn't need to raise its voice to be unforgettable.
since I met you, baby, all
Ivory Joe Hunter had already been known for blending blues and smooth crooner tones, but this one was pure velvet. It came at a time when R&B was starting to stretch out. Less frantic juke joint energy, more slow-burning heart. And Ivory Joe? He poured everything tender into this recording. People who grew up in the 50s remember hearing this on late-night radio, when the DJ spoke softly and the world outside was still.
I don't need nobody to tell my
Couples parked under moonlight, windows fogged just a little, letting that easy piano and gentle sway do the talking. It wasn't just a love song, it was grown love. A love that sounded like promises you meant to keep.
I'm gonna try to please you, and
A lesser-known detail. Ivory Joe was one of the few R&B artists of his day who moved easily between black and white audiences, playing both the Chitlin circuit and country venues. That crossover warmth allowed this song to touch hearts across dividing lines many thought were impossible to cross. And maybe that's why it endures. Because sincerity, when
I met you, baby,
when it's real, doesn't need permission from anybody. If that one felt like slow dancing under the stars. The next song, it takes us back to the street corner where harmonies lived. Number 6, In the Still of the Night by the Five Satins. Released in 1956 on Standard Records, this song is the heartbeat of every late-night memory from the era. Fred Parris wrote it while stationed in the Army, recording it back home in the basement of St. Bernadette Church in New Haven. And you can hear that basement, its echo, its closeness, the warmth of young voices singing their hearts out into the quiet. For anyone who grew up in the 1950s, this wasn't just a song, it was a moment. School dances, roller rinks, neighborhood stoops under summertime streetlights. When that soft, shooby-doo-wah harmony floated in, everything slowed down. Even your breathing changed. It captured the innocence of the crush you never forgot, the smile you practiced in the mirror, the courage it took to ask for that dance. What's remarkable is how it lived on, not for chart-topping domination, but because people carried it forward, passed down like a story, like a memory and melody. It's been in movies, wedding receptions, reunions, anywhere nostalgia lives with its arms open. And if that one brought you back to the nights that felt endless, we're just getting started. If these songs are stirring up memories, maybe even ones you haven't thought about in years, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It helps keep this music and the love tied to it alive. And stick around. We're about to step into the top 5 where the memories run even deeper. Number 5, Sea of Love by Phil Phillips and the Twilights.
The Sea of Love, I want to tell you.
Released in 1959 on Mercury Records, this was the sound of pure devotion, delivered with a tremble in the voice and a heartbeat in the rhythm. Phil Phillips wasn't a major star before this record. He was a Louisiana bellhop who wrote the song for a girl he loved. No marketing machine, no big career push, just one man trying to say, "I love you, and I don't know how else to tell you." When he stepped into that tiny studio, backed by the Twilight's soft harmonies, he didn't know he was recording a memory that would last generations. For those who grew up in the 50s, this was a wedding song, a prom night moment, and a song that played on the radio the first time you realized love wasn't just something in movies, it was something that could happen to you. The gentle guitar, the sway of the rhythm, Phil's trembling voice, it all felt like standing at the edge of something beautiful and a little bit scary.
I love to the sea.
Behind the sweetness, though, there's a bit of heartbreak. Phil Phillips never saw the royalties he deserved. Industry politics and bad contracts swallowed the money. But what survived, what really mattered, was the way the song made people feel.
As the day I knew you were my pet.
After decade, it's been covered, remembered, cherished. And if that one felt like falling softly into love, the next song defined the sound of romance itself. Number 4, You Send Me by Sam Cooke.
Darling, you send me.
Released in 1957 on Keane Records, this was the moment Sam Cooke stepped out from gospel stardom and into the national spotlight. Before this song, he was the golden voice of the Soul Stirrers. A church voice, a Sunday morning voice, a voice meant to lift hearts toward heaven. But when You Send Me arrived, everything changed. He brought that same grace, that same warmth into the world of popular music. And the world wasn't just ready, they were hungry for it.
I know that you thrill me.
If you grew up in the 1950s, you'll remember how this sounded on a jukebox. Soft, sensuous, intimate, like someone whispering love directly to you. This wasn't loud or flashy, it glowed.
You thrill me. I know.
Couples held hands tighter. Letters were signed with the song title. A whole generation learned how to say, "I care about you" from this record. It topped both the pop and R&B charts, an unheard of crossover at the time, quietly challenging barriers simply by being beautiful.
Darling, you thrill me.
And as smooth as this one is, the next track has just a little more swagger in its step. Number 3, What I Say by Ray Charles. Released in 1959 on Atlantic Records, this was the moment when rhythm and blues officially caught fire. Ray Charles had been blending gospel, blues, and jazz in ways that already raised eyebrows. But this track, this was the spark that lit the match. The story goes he made it up on stage, completely improvised, when he ran out of material during a show. The band followed his lead, the crowd leaned in, and something electric, something holy and unpolished was born right there in the room. When the recording hit the airwaves, radio stations weren't sure whether to play it or ban it.
Hey, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ray Charles.
The call and response moans, the pulsing piano, the energy building from simmer to full-on boil. It was sensual, spiritual, and alive. Teens loved it. Parents clutched their pearls. Pastors frowned. And Ray just smiled and kept on playing. For those who lived it, this song felt like freedom, like breaking rules without saying a word.
She called me Diamond Ring. She know how to shake that thing.
Like the night was young and the world was changing right now. It became a blueprint. James Brown, Stevie Wonder, even early Motown arrangements took notes.
Yeah, shake it up now.
This wasn't just a song. It was a permission slip to feel. And if this one set the room on fire, the next track, that's pure slow-burning romance, love that lingers. Number 2, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by the Platters. Released in 1958 on Mercury Records, this was elegance, smooth, satin, and slow as a heartbeat in the quiet. The Platters were already among the first black vocal groups to cross fully into mainstream pop success. But this one felt cinematic. Tony Williams' voice didn't just sing the melody, he carried it, like something fragile in both hands. And when he reached for those soaring notes, listeners felt something rise in themselves too. For those who grew up in the 1950s, this was the sound of heartbreak that didn't shatter, it glowed.
All who love are blind.
You might remember hearing it on a late-night radio station, the room dark, curtains swaying just slightly, and suddenly realizing love could lift you and undo you at the same time. The strings wrap around the voice like memory around longing. No rush, no clutter, just feeling. There's a quiet irony in the lyrics.
Tears I cannot hide.
Love can feel so certain, so eternal, until the flame shifts and the smoke stings just a little. And yet the beauty of this recording is how gentle it is with that truth. No blame, no bitterness, just remembering what it was to feel something deeply. It's the kind of song that stays with you for a lifetime.
I chant them and I gaily laugh.
Long after the dance, long after the moment, long after the name has faded. And if that was the tender ache of love remembered, nothing prepares you for the one we all still feel in our bones. Number 1, Stand By Me by Ben E. King.
So darling, darling, stand by.
Released in 1961 on Atco Records, but rooted in the emotional memory of the late 50s. This song belongs to the generation that grew up before the world sped up. Ben E. King had left the Drifters and was carving out his own voice. Quiet confidence, soul wrapped in velvet.
When the night has come.
Inspired by a gospel hymn and the book of Psalms, he brought a sense of strength to love, not just sweetness. This wasn't a teenage crush song. This was I'll Weather the Storm With You. And that meant something real in the 50s, when love was a promise, not a slogan.
Should tumble and fall o'er the mountain.
If you were there, you'd remember where you were the first time you heard that bass line. Steady, reassuring, like a heartbeat you could lean on. Couples danced close, friends linked arms. Communities that were facing change, hardship, and uncertainty found comfort in its simplicity. It played at weddings, at reunions, even quietly during hard goodbyes.
And darling, darling, stand by.
Love wasn't always easy, but this song said, you don't have to go through it alone. Its legacy is one of endurance. Generations have held on to it. Movies revived it. Choirs still sing it. And when that refrain comes in, darling, darling, time stops. And suddenly you're back there again. When the world felt slower, warmer, and full of songs that said what our hearts were too shy to speak. If music is memory, then this one is home. These songs weren't just hits, they were moments, slow dances, first loves, heartbreaks softened by the radio glow, the soundtrack of drive-ins, malt shops, street corners, and warm summer nights when the world felt full of possibility. Thank you for taking this walk back through time. If this brought back even one memory, even one voice, one place, one face you thought you'd forgotten, go ahead and subscribe to keep the soul alive. And don't stop here. Up next, 10 underrated R&B soul bands from the 1950s. Click the video on your screen and let's keep the music playing.